Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay! And choo-choo!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, for joining us so much. All aboard the murder train, pulling away from the station. We have some weird, unexpected stuff today, as usual. Every episode, you're like, oh, well, it can't get weirder than that. Well, it's weirder. It's always weirder. So let's get into this. Okay. Oh, boy. Before we do, though, just want to say, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Get your tickets to live shows. That's what, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Chicago, August 12th. Oh, we cannot wait. It's going to be
a big show. Yeah.
Our biggest show ever. So be a part of it. Beautiful venue,
Can't
nice
wait.
stuff, and a Chicago-only live show.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear a story you can't hear anywhere else in the country, this is where you go. Chicago, August 12th. Also, only a few other cities have tickets left. Most everything is sold out. Right. Dallas, Atlanta, Charlotte, and I think Philly has a few tickets left. So Philly, get in there. I know it's in November, but I'm sorry, they're going quick. Thank you for everyone for buying tickets, and to everyone for buying tickets. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Also, patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get tons of stuff. You get tons of bonus episodes. That's what you get. You're going to get a couple hundred of them to binge on, and then new ones every other week. One crime and sports, one small town murder, and you get access to it all This week, we're going to talk about, for Crime and Sports, the 1919 Chicago Black Sox scandal, the World Series throwing scandal, which is really dirty and underground and lots of gangsters, and it's fun stuff. We'll talk about that. They made movies about it, for God's sake. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about some weird Titanic stories.
Oh.
All the Titanic stuff. Yeah, we're going to talk about some survivor stories, some strange stats that I don't think people are aware of, some reasons for sinking that aren't really known, and also a couple other sea mysteries we'll talk about. And survivors had some weird times. It's strange. That is patreon.com/crime and sports. And you get a shout out at the end of the regular show as well. Also, your stupid opinions. Hey, it's coming. Apparently, there's going to be a campaign for it here for a couple weeks. So we'll be able to give you a date here in a minute, and it's going to be pretty cool. We'll push for it, and hopefully, the network will do the same, and hopefully it'll get put out there. But it's going to be soon. Couple weeks.
Two men have ever done for their own work in the history.
Especially for something that they've done and can't wait to put out. We have this thing and we're like, we can't wait to give you this. We made this pie and it smells so good, and the whole kitchen's been smelling good for months, and we can't wait to serve you this. But we'll make a fresh one, obviously, because we don't want to feed you months old pie. But still, your stupid opinions is coming. So
fakes like
that. That said, I think it's time to get into this. I think it's time. Everyone, wherever you are, I don't care where you are. It doesn't matter. You in a PTA meeting? You guys talking about, you need the soccer field needs new sodding? I don't care. Shit. That's right. You know what? I don't care. Kick over your coffee. That's this big giant Starbucks that you need to stay away. Kick it over. Jump up onto the table. Look these dead-eyed parents directly into their maws. Arms to the sky, and you shout, "Shut up and give me murder." That's right, Jimmy. Let's go on a trip, shall we? Let's do this. We're going all the way to Vermont this week. Townshend, Vermont, which is Tonshend. So there's an H in there. It's kind of the British way to do that, because there's British people. That's kind of the British spelling of Townsend in a lot of people's names, which is
Townshend.
Kind of Townshend, I think. So, but I think it's Townsend anyway. Southwest. People will tell us if it's not. It's in southwestern Vermont. This place here. It's about 2 hours to Albany, New York, is the closest kind of city here, and then 3 hours to Boston on the other direction, and then it's about 2 hours and 45 minutes to our last Vermont episode, which was in Fletcher, Vermont, the intentional accidents with the one with the public access and the TV show and the guy's head. Oh my God, that was a crazy story. This place, population 1,641. Oh. Not many people here. Very small town. A lot of farms and things like that. This is farm country. Median household income here about $52,000, which is a little less than the national average. Median home price, though, is less than the national average as well. It's $288,600. So
for the Northeast, that's amazing.
And this is the town where they filmed the town stuff for Funny Farm.
Oh.
And when you read the story and them moving out there, you go, it's like Funny Farm. These people, they moved to Redbud, basically, and that's what's going on. And then then Allison found that, this is where Funny Farm was from. So perfect. It's perfect. It was named after Charles Townshend, who was the Secretary of War under King George the Third.
Jesus.
I was going to say the fourth, but I got to catch myself.
Secretary of War with fucking catapults and shit.
Wooden ships and catapults. Between Yosemite Sam type shit.
Right.
So
shit that'll explode in your lap.
Between 1755 and 1761, plans and occupation of this town were abandoned due to the impact of the French and Indian War. So they had this grant for a town, but it had to be settled within 5 years, and then there was a war, so they couldn't do it, so then they had to get it re-granted again and all this type of shit. So when they finally got in here and got settled, they have really fertile soil around here. So they're growing everything, just all sorts of stuff. Problem was there was tons of trees that had deep roots everywhere, so they had problems with that and a lot of issues with that sort of thing. After the Civil War, or during the Civil War, they had a population of 1,376. So the town has grown zero in 160 years.
Stop it. Has the same population now?
Pretty much almost the same, within 100.
Wow.
And about 120 men fought in the Civil War from this town. So that's almost 10% of the population went and fought in the war. And they had cash bounties. They would give people $500 to sign up, which back then was a shitload of money. You could buy a house when you got home after that. So they did all of that. A lot of people, though, after this, when they were done with the war, they didn't come back to Vermont. They went moving other places, which this happens with a lot of wars, especially the Civil War. There's a lot of people from farms who had they'd never been out of their town. They've barely been off their farm. They've only been like to town to sell things. They've never gone anywhere. Then when they leave and go to the Civil War and they go to all these different places, they're like, oh, shit, things are different places. I might want to explore a little bit. And they realize they can, and they do. So that happened, and it shrunk the population.
It's just the same all over?
They don't know. They have no idea. Remember in The Wire when he thought the radio stations, he's like, there's other radio stations in different cities that you have no idea.
Radio stations existed.
That was in like 2011 or something. Yeah. So 2006, I think it was, or whatever. So yeah, it happens. Now, reviews of this town, there's only a couple because it's a small town, but let's find out. What do you think? Everyone's going to say it's perfect and quilty and plaid and...
Dude, I got to tell you, being in Vermont, you don't want to leave. It's so fucking gorgeous.
It's nice.
It really is.
Nice. It's just it'll funny farm you. It'll drive you crazy. That's the problem.
If it's like that, it will.
Yeah, it's that town. Reviews of this town here: 4 stars. I like that it is a very tight-knit community, but it would be nice if there were more things to do.
Yeah.
Well, then it wouldn't be as tight-knit because you'd be a bigger place. That's how it works. Yep. 3 stars here. Okay, right in the middle. It's a long commute to the nearest town, so be prepared for a whole day spent on grocery shopping.
Oh, boy.
Yikes. The schools in town are okay, but the nearby town of Brattleboro has a better high school, and I'm sure they are better elementary schools. The pizza place in the town center, always says it's opening, but never does. You're going to have pizza soon. Hey, we're jacked for pizza. No pizza. It's like your stupid opinions, except the pizza version.
I know they're paying.
Oh, I know they're paying. Yeah, they're like, God damn it, another fucking inspection thing. Shit.
We just want to open the goddamn store.
Our pizzas are so good. They're so good.
We have the best ingredients. Fuck Papa. Fuck Papa John's. Wait till they see this.
You could... I'm sorry, but you could pull a sanitary napkin out of a dumpster and sprinkle somebody's dandruff on top of it, and that would be a better pizza than
I just
a Papa
mean
John's.
That it'll sell.
I'd buy that over a Papa John's. That pizza is the worst. Okay.
Why do they sell? What is it?
Because people, they don't know pizza places.
Cheap.
Unless you're from somewhere with good pizza, you're like, that's pizza. Yeah. I think that's what it is.
It's also affordable, and that fucking buttercum is so good.
But Papa John's isn't even cheap, though. Those places, compared to...
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I don't even think they're that cheap. Maybe I have specials, 3 for... Whatever, we're off base here.
$20 a pie.
It's a classic small town with classic small town problems, is what it says. So, nothing to do. Who knows? Boring. Things to do here. Speaking of boring, this is the thing to do. The Townshend Pumpkin Festival. So,
yes, they love it. They love it.
All sorts of pumpkins. There's going to be pumpkins and, what is this? A day for the local community filled with joy, laughter, and the vibrant colors of the season. Holy shit. Embrace the bounty of the harvest season with open arms.
Yeah.
We should go there and embrace the bounty of the harvest season with open arms. Can you picture us doing that? Just the two of us here.
Brown, orange, some amber.
Oh, look at this. Wearing our sweaters.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. Experience the magic as you stroll through our picturesque common adorned with pumpkins of all shapes and sizes, showcasing the artistry and creativity of our community. Yeah, that's right.
Get your Tims.
There's also going to be local bands, so that's going to be...
they're going to ruin it.
They'll ruin the whole thing. You hear birds chirping and shit, and then you're just going to hear Taking Care of Business again for the 4th time, because that's they only know like 4 songs. So that said, you're bored, there's nothing to do, you're waiting for the pizza place to open. Let's talk about a murder in the meantime
to
tide you over until you can get yourself a nice pie. All right, let's do this.
So they fire up the ovens.
So they fire up the ovens over there. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about a man first here.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about these dates when they're born, and you're going to go, wow, this is like an old-timey murder. Now, this happened in the 2000s, so Don't worry, everybody. This isn't a black and white murder. This is a color murder. Okay, Robert Schreiner. Let's talk about here. Robert Schreiner. He's born in 1925. This guy.
Jesus.
Yeah, he ends up in Vermont, but it takes a lot to get him there.
Yeah.
He was raised in the Bronx, so he's from the Bronx originally. Robert Schreiner. He went to school in the Bronx and all that. He graduated from Bronx High School of Science.
Yeah.
He was a veteran of World War II.
Hell yeah.
Is that 1925? That's, around
then.
He
was right in it.
Perfect time for it.
Yep.
He was like 18 and 43. Yep. I mean, Jesus. He served in the U.S. Army Air Corps, like Archie Bunker. That's, if you watched All in the Family, that's where Archie Bunker was. That's what he was
Air
in.
Force today.
Yep. As a bombardier with the 245th Army Air Corps base unit here. Okay. He was honorably discharged from service in 1945, and he went to Syracuse University, had the GI Bill, and went to college. Yeah. He earned a Bachelor of Science in Landscape Architecture.
Damn, this is like the third time people...
That's not trimming hedges. That's figuring out, the grading and where things are going to go. That's like the architect for outside, basically.
What plant goes here?
Yeah, well, exactly. And also they have to figure out drainage, and there's a lot of science that goes with that, too. So he was apparently a very good landscape architect and owned and operated his own firm, Schreiner and Schmidt, in Port Washington, New York. So for years he's doing this. By the time the late 50s comes around, he's married, he's got a few kids, but he gets divorced in the late 50s, which in the late 50s, that's scandalous to get divorced, This guy, and this guy's a goddamn, he can get divorced he's a fucking hero, goddammit.
He's a bombardier.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, he fought Hitler. He beat Hitler.
He did.
We have to give him something for that. So he gets remarried as... Single man back then needed to find someone to, those guys, they didn't know how to cook. They didn't know how to, do things.
Oh, for Christ's sake, yeah.
A single man with, 3 kids back then was worthless. He had to have, a housekeeper. He didn't know what he was doing. That's where Alice and Mr. Brady came from, because he didn't know what to do.
He got a bag of beans, a bag of rice. He's like, how do you make this food?
I don't know. Anyone make this food? Do they teach you kids home ec at school?
Somebody make this food, please.
I have a ration from the Army I can whip up, but other than that,
just add water.
Yeah, he gets remarried in the early 60s to a woman named Hope. So hopefully this Hope will give him some hope. So she's a few years younger than him. She's born in 1931. She's a nurse by trade, and they get married, and they each have several children. They form a Brady Bunch. This is an absolute Brady Bunch scenario that really bad things happen later. But he had 3 sons from his first marriage. Think about that. Mike Brady, 3 kids. And she had 5 kids already.
Holy.
So they make the Bradys look like pussies, these people.
Truly.
They're like, fuck, 6.
Hearing nothing of it.
Yeah. So they'll end up with, those 8 kids, and then they have a kid together as well.
They got 9 altogether.
A son named Scott. So they end up with 9 kids altogether in the house here. And he immediately, as soon as he can, legally, he adopts her 5 kids as well.
Okay.
So total Brady Bunch happening here. He adopts her kids, and the 2 of them go on to have the son. Like I said, they make their home for years in Claverack, New York, which is, you've been to Claverack, New York, as a matter of fact. Yes, you have, because that's the exit you take off the Taconic to go to Great Barrington. Is Claverack. You go on that exit, and that's what's there. I think that's where that diner is right there. I think that's Claverack. It might not be, though. No, Claverack is before the border. Claverack, I believe, is where that crazy guy with the fucking
with those
the
wild
crazy
flags
bearded guy with the flags that sits outside
boy.
daring you to come take his guns like no one. You're in the middle of nowhere, bro. He's sitting out there like he's waiting for it. Like, they're coming for me. It's like, you're in a field. No one cares what you do here. You could have all the guns you want here. No one is interested in you.
Somebody tweeted they're coming, so I'm going to sit on the patio and wait.
I'm going to sit out here and wait. Put my flags out so they know.
Jesus Christ, man. Have a Coke.
Chill out, bro. Chill, man. Someone's going to be like, I've seen that guy. I know it. I know they are going to Great Barrington. It's crazy shit by the solar farm there. It's right near there. It's right like across the street. So January 1993, though, they're getting older now. I mean, Christ, he's almost 68. She's a little older now. So they move. They're retiring. She retires as a nurse. He sells his landscape business. And now they're gonna slow down a little bit here. Yeah. And they're going to move to rural Vermont. Why not?
Wow.
Townsend, funny farm, baby. That's where they're going. Absolutely here. They move. It's 2 hours northeast of where they live.
Yeah.
And so they do that. Robert has a lot of health problems by now.
Oh.
He's led a wild life, if you think about it, and it's caught up to him here. He's got he limps around a lot. He has a hard time walking sometimes because he was in a very bad car accident in the 80s. So that's a problem. He has a lot of health problems by his 70s. He's got glaucoma, which is an issue, and he also lost a lung to cancer.
He's a one-lunged, no eyes, one-legged.
Limping around.
This poor bastard.
And in the one lung he has chronic pneumnia.
Chronic. Keeps coming back.
Constant pneumonia also.
Oh, my God.
He's always got a good cough going as well.
Yeah.
Things are rough for Robert, but somehow, feeling like this, he just continues on doing things.
Well, I mean,
people who fought Hitler did, you got to plug on, So he was elected when he moved to Vermont, he's elected to the town, council here.
Sure.
I guess he had a seat, the select board. That's what it was.
Okay.
He has a seat that goes all the way through 2005. It's supposed to go. He loved gardening. For years, he did volunteer work just to help maintain the gardens at the Grace Cottage Hospital in town as well. Oh. So he was just like a volunteer groundskeeper.
Wow.
He'd come in and do stuff just because he liked doing that shit.
I did this for money. I'm probably the best qualified person here. I may as well just do it.
Might as well, right? And then Hope is also, later on, she'll be volunteering as a librarian for a while as well. Okay. So this is a pretty mild-mannered couple here, it seems like.
Yeah. Probably the best marrying he's ever done based on what he experiences later. You know what I mean?
Semes like it, yeah. It's a retired nurse.
Great pick. Well done, friend.
Found her in the 50s, and he's like, I'm going to be sick someday.
I'm
very sick. I'm going to need someone who's willing to put up with some gross stuff. You into that? Feel like you've seen worse, so let's go, honey.
Yeah.
So 1993, let's catch up with them. They're just moved to Townsend, and they have discovered they have this farm, and let's enter a new animal to our lexicon of small town murder animals and all of our murder birds and everything else. Let's add in murder llamas now.
Stop it.
Llamas. Okay.
They bought llamas?
They have llamas. And there's an article in the Brattleboro Reformer when they get there, which is a newspaper. And it's about Hope Schreiner saying that she became interested in llamas about 5 years ago, but didn't know at the time that they're actually used as guard llamas. People have llamas as a defense to their house instead of dogs.
Like an attack llama?
They have attack llamas. Yes. That's what it's a guard llama more than an attack llama. Wait till you hear how llamas kill things. These things are vicious. They're like Hell's Angels. They're
crazy. Stomp?
They knock you down and stomp you to death.
That's right. Yeah, I do know that.
Horrible.
Yeah, they're fucking psychotic animals.
That's how you get killed in maximum security gen pop, for fuck's sake. Do they rape you first? This is horrible. What a disaster.
They are straight gangsters. I think they spit too, right? Don't they spit on you?
Yeah, they hiss too.
They spit on you and
angry.
Stomp you like
and
fucking
stomp you out
like low life scumbags.
What's up, bitch? It's like Hell's Angels. That's what they're like. These things. But they're huge also.
Yeah.
You can't fight a llama. You have long necks. They bob and weave away from your fucking punches. They're tough. So she said that llamas had become kind of an in pet. Like they were like a trendy pet at the time. Yeah. And people were doing it as an investment. They were raising llamas and selling them. They'd buy stock in llama farms. It was like a punchline in the 90s of a joke.
Sure.
What are you going to buy stock in an ostrich farm or shit like that? So they said that her veterinarian, Hope says, who's also a llama raiser, said that, you can use llamas to guard animals. on your farm. And she said, wow. She said, quote, ideally you should have one gelding to bond with the flock. And she had one available, but she suggested to try 2 because they like companionship. They didn't need another llama to hang out with, obviously.
Yeah.
You got to talk about llama things. You can't just be, all around the sheep all the time. That's boring.
So they want you to have 2 geldings, and gelding means that they're like fucking neutered. They don't mate. So,
yeah, the male, but then she has a female as well she's planning on breeding at some point here.
But not with him, obviously.
No, apparently not. No, I don't think so. His name is Boris, by the way, and her name is Rachel. Those are the 2 llamas.
They sound like assholes.
Boris and Rachel. That's a dick couple.
Yeah, they sound very picky.
He's got white Oakley. She's got an Apple Watch. This is a problem. You know what I mean? So,
couple of dicks.
Yeah. So she, people out there looking at their Apple Watch going, hey, it has nothing to do with you. If you're mixed with a guy with white Oakleys, then we might have to talk about it. But other than that, you're okay.
I'm controlling this show with that watch, you son
Yeah,
of a
hey,
bitch.
God damn it. No, you're fine. It's not you. It's a very specific person we're discussing. So she got these geldings, and this gelding, this other one. She bought 7 sheep as well.
Yeah.
And from a former neighbor of theirs when they lived on Long Island for a while. And so that's what they end up. Hope says, quote, one enjoyed chasing the sheep there. He was doing what he was supposed to, except with the wrong animals. So he liked chasing them around. Yeah. She did see that they could be good guard animals because one of their dogs snuck into the barnyard at one point.
Oh, God.
And, quote, they immediately focused on the dog's movement and charged it. They would have stomped him to death. We barely got him out in time.
They got
like,
kicked, for
fuck
sure.
out of here, dog. Yeah, you're not doing this. They said a stranger recently approached the barnyard, and Rachel went on alert they hum, I guess. They go,
Really?
They do like a That means they're not thrilled with what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And was staring at this person. And they said that the llama followed this person all the way into the barn, humming and all this type of shit. And,
oh, boy.
Yeah, they're naturally protective. And they said that the humming was an indication that she was doing her job. So this is crazy.
Jesus, straight gangsters.
Yeah. She says, quote, that when they're humming, she said, then when they do a high-pitched hum, she says, that means they're upset and questioning. That's also the way they communicate.
Right. That high-pitched hum is whistling Farmer in the Dell.
That's what that is. She said they're much more friendly than sheep, and they're usually placid and kind of like dogs to people.
Yeah.
She said they're quite friendly with people. I heard that they spit, but mine have never spit. When charging a predator, they will spit. They are very aggressive.
Yeah.
So there you go. They said llamas are used effectively out west on large sheep ranches to stomp coyotes to death. There we go. So she's been hanging out with llamas and librarianing, I guess.
They stomp coyotes to death.
To death. Stomp them. Just take that, bitch. All right. Fuck away from my sheep.
The Roadrunner just needed to make friends with a llama.
Done. Just wait. Arms crossed. What's up now, motherfucker? Hope you got an Acme first aid kit, bitch. He's going to stomp you.
Got some Acme gauze, you son of a bitch.
Right. So she says that during the early 2000s, Robert begins to change, she starts telling people as he's changing. She says that it's weird. She's quoted as saying that he's a, quote, hard man to know. He's becoming a hard man to know, claiming he's mentally abusive and all this sort of thing. She told somebody, quote, he's impatient with me. He yells at me and watches me because I don't always do what he wants right away. I think he's gotten worse as he's gotten older.
Huh.
Yeah, I could see that too. He's going to be, and especially if you're limping, you can't see, and you have one pneumonic lung or pneumoniac lung, I think that you're going to probably be like, this sucks. Not that you can be abusive,
one lung he can barely breathe out of.
Yes, he's having problems here.
Yeah.
So enter a guy named Donald Bourret, Bouret. Okay. He is 77 years old, same as Robert.
Sure.
And he became friends with the Shriners around 2000 when he moved to Vermont from North Carolina. He would often help Robert Shriner around the house. With stuff that he needed to do, chores, outside stuff that Robert liked, that Robert liked to do, but couldn't quite physically, do nowadays. Hey, Hi, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
And he also would attend events with Hope. If she wanted to go do something, he would escort her to do it because maybe Robert didn't feel good or whatever. So
legs acting up or it's about to rain.
And he would literally say, would you take my wife to the thing? Because,
please, take my wife. Yeah.
Take my wife, please. I take my wife everywhere, but she finds her way home. Please don't say that's funny, and that's not our jokes. These are Henny Youngman jokes from, the 40s. I said one of the Goodfellas jokes
Robert
2 months ago, and somebody was like, "That I had to pull my car over. That's so funny." I'm like, that is not my joke. Remember that? Because you've commented on it too. I was like, that is Henny Youngman from the 40s. And people just thought it was mine. I'm like, no, not my joke. Yeah, definitely not my joke.
Oh my God.
That was literally from Goodfellas. I appreciated the laughter. Don't get me wrong.
It's very sweet of you.
But I was like, please don't give me credit for a joke that someone else wrote. Fucking before my parents were born.
When my parents were children.
Before that, even. It's like the 40s. Christ, it's way older than my parents.
20 years before my parents were children.
Please. Oh, man. So he said he liked them very much. He liked Robert very much. He said we had a lot in common. They're the same age. I'm sure he was probably in World War II also, and they probably had a lot to talk about. He said, the Beret guy here says that after his brother died in November of 2003, he was very, very upset, obviously. And he said that Hope was very nice to him and gave him a comforting hug.
Sure.
And he said, quote, that's when things started.
The hug?
It doesn't take much, I think, if you haven't.
God, Jesus, we are such easy targets.
That's when things started. A hug to be sorry your brother's dead. It wasn't even a horny hug. She didn't rub his ass on him. It's a pity hug. It's a pity hug. And he was like, that's when my dick got hard. So
maybe she'll pity fuck. Who knows?
Well, that's what ends up going on. They begin an affair together. God. Granny affair. This is 72-year-old woman and a 77-year-old man getting it on.
Wow.
Wait till you hear later how old people describe being a friends with benefits relationship, quote unquote. Totally different verbiage, and it's hilarious for old people. So they're going all over. They're meeting up for sexual rendezvous here. They're meeting up every few weeks. They're going to motels together.
Oh my God.
gross and hilarious and also cool. I mean, it's nice to hear old people fucking. That's cool, I guess. I mean, no one's going to get pregnant or anything. Who gives a shit? It's not like she's going to get in trouble.
Jesus.
That would be a record. So,
can you imagine?
That would be terrifying. He'd be like, what? We got to take care of this. Jesus Christ.
Obviously.
I have great-grandchildren. This is crazy. So, oh, man. So they're hooking up and plowing each other all over the place, these two, which is just wild. I think that's the oldest sex we've ever talked about on this show.
78?
78, I think
Yikes.
so. So Hope is like super jacked about this. She tells her daughter, so, her daughter that was adopted by Robert here, tells her that all about it, and she's so excited. And Hope said, her daughter said that her mom appeared giddy during a visit to California when her mom came out to visit her. And she said, quote, she had something to tell me, and she was very excited. Like, they were like, Mom, you seem so happy. And she's like, I'll tell you later. I'm just excited. She was loving life in a way that she had not for a long, long time, the daughter said. I guessed what the thing was that was making her so happy. I said, have you been seeing someone? And she said, yes, and proceeded to tell me it was a neighbor and a friend, and they had known each other for a long time and had gotten intimate recently.
Oh, my God.
She described how that happened, how they became lovers. And then her daughter went home and put bleach in her eyes and poured
Threw up a lot.
And poured acid into her ears so she could never see nor hear anything ever again. You don't want to hear how your parents... Anybody out there want the details on that?
You want the details of your 78-year-old parent cheating on her husband, cheating on your dad?
I don't want to hear that at all. It sounds... I'd be like, oh, God, please stop. Mom, please, no more.
She blew another geriatric penis.
Oh, Jesus. How far did his balls dangle down, Mom? How low were they? Tell me.
You're not going to believe this. 2 old men fuck me now.
2. Man, she said that she was tired of taking care of her husband because he's ill, and she looked forward to him going to bed at night so that she could spend time with Don.
Wow.
She'd sneak out of the house because he took Ambien at night to sleep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the daughter said, quote, she had to do everything and it was awful for her. She said, I can't wait to be alone so that I can move on with my life.
Jesus.
Yeah. She said that Hope wanted to start a new life together, and then even asked Beret if their relationship could grow, if Robert, because he's sick, and, if he ends up being put in hospice or something, or the VA hospital or something, maybe we could add on to this. But he will say that he told her, quote, I told her definitely not.
Just like it like this.
Listen, lady, I am playing the field right now, okay? I am 77. I'm a little too young to settle down. He said, I didn't think we were compatible.
All right.
They're compatible to fuck, but they're not compatible to watch Jeopardy at night together. You know what I mean? Like, listen, I don't know if I want to sit there with you all day and night. That's a different story.
Those are compatible, but nothing else.
When you're elderly and you're finding someone new, you have to be like extra compatible because it's not like someone goes to work for 8-10 hours a day, and like it's all day every day. You got to see this person. So
complaining about what ails them.
Extra compatible. Yeah, that's the other thing. They have to be into the same thing, have the same amount of health problems, and I think there's a lot that has to line up. He says, Beret said that he and her, it was about a 2.5-month affair in 2004 here, and said that even though he was a willing participant, he was uncomfortable seeing her too. He felt bad about, banging his friend's wife and all.
Yeah, especially with the condition his friend is in. It feels shitty.
I would hope it felt shitty.
Except
I
was
going to say,
great.
He was like, it felt terrible most of the time. And then it didn't, and then it did again. So he said that.
There's a little bit that wasn't so bad.
Exactly. He told people he didn't think their affair was right. It wasn't the right thing to do. Right. He said he told her that that her life, quote, he told him, or Schreiner said that her life as a husband and wife was with Robert, and, that's where she should be. Okay. So The Shriners here, he doesn't know about the affair, obviously, Robert, but they appear to be working it out here. Okay. Beyond all of this stuff, they appear to be planning for the future together. They sold their house recently and were in the process of having a new home built right up the road.
Yeah.
So that's planning for the future.
Yes,
when you're building an actual, deciding where you want to put closets and shit. Right. That's for the future. So then June 2nd, 2004, it's been a month or two since the affair has cooled down and everything. Yeah. Hope, in the middle of the afternoon, 2 o'clock or 1:30 in the afternoon, Hope calls 911.
Oh, boy.
And she says, oh, my God, I found my husband bleeding in the driveway.
Oh.
Which, I mean, he's that old and has all these health problems. That could be from anything. But still, she said, I don't see his chest moving. There's blood out of his nose. It looks like he fell. Okay. So she's
diagnosing.
How's that relevant? Yeah, that's not relevant.
What do you need?
That's exactly what it is. The dispatcher told her to ask if he was okay, and she did, and then said he's not responding.
Oh.
So within 10 minutes, people are there, which is actually impressive for like a rural area. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. And they discovered him in the driveway. She's there too, but he's on the ground, obviously. And they said that they observed dried blood on him and near his head.
Oh.
So they concluded he's been dead for at least 2 or 3 hours here.
Dead?
It's probably been dead a while.
Gone for 2 or 3 hours.
Gone for 2 or 3 hours. Now, dried blood, it is June, so it's warm, so blood will tend to dry quicker, but still, maybe 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
So now she is there. Hope is talking to the medical personnel, obviously. She said that she arrived home about a half hour ago before she called, but she went and didn't see him over by the car. She said she went inside briefly because she was out doing shit. She came home, didn't see him in the driveway next to the car. So she said she went inside and then came out and discovered him lying there.
Okay.
Called 911. So then about a half hour later, police officers arrive. Takes them, that's a while. It takes.
Sure is. Yeah.
But it's because they found out that he's dead at the scene. They can't revive him. So that's it. There he is, dead. And so now they have to have police officers make sure that it's an old man falling and not something terrible. So Hope talks to the police officers and said that she came home from playing tennis. She's out playing tennis today.
She is so active.
Working on her backhand. She's fucking, she's playing tennis. She's got a lot going on. She's rearranging books.
Going to California.
Going to California. She said that she got home from playing tennis between 40 minutes and a half hour before calling the cops, or 911. She went into the house to look for Robert and then discovered his body upon taking the dogs out for a walk.
Shit.
So she's going to give a little bit differing versions of that over time here, but that's okay. Timelines are weird. So injuries on him. Let's find out what's wrong with him. Why is he bleeding from the head? Well, has a lot more than that wrong with him here. He's been brutally beaten over the head with a blunt object. Whoa. He didn't fall. He might have fell afterwards, but...
Oh, he fell at some point, yeah.
Something knocked him to the ground, though. So hard that gravel from the driveway left a deep impression in his head.
There's gravel in the skin, yeah.
He's been beaten while he's on the ground, hard. They say that the regional medical examiner here found holes in his head and his skull fractured in 2 different areas as well.
Holy.
He's hit with something kind of pointy and kind of like a diamond shaped, they think, maybe something like that. Pointy, but also blunt. They said that there is blunt force trauma resulted in several puncture wounds and marks that showed a wedge-shaped pattern with 3 prongs, is what they see.
Yeah.
They said there's nothing around. They look around. They don't see anything within, any of the area here. So they also, after the medical examiner's done, they figure out that he ingested what they describe as an extremely large dose of Ambien.
Oh.
It's 2 p.m.
Yeah, why would he do that?
Yeah, they said sometime in the morning, not the night before, equivalent to about 7 10-milligram pills.
Oh, that's way too many. You only need 1 or 2 of those.
Way too many Ambiens, yeah. It was approximated the pills were consumed around 8 a.m. that day. They said he had a prescription for Ambien, which he had stopped taking in April of 2004. His last refill on the bottle on his prescription occurred in September 2003.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's how this goes. Now, police talked to Hope, and she says, I have no idea how he got injured. I was playing tennis. I don't know. She said, I think it looked from me, if I'm can I play detective for a moment if I might?
Yeah.
If I might. Looks like he fell out of the car, face planted onto the rocks. That would be my guess,
Hope. You're bad at this.
This is in the house while this is going on. They're putting like tape up and covering him and shit, and they're talking to him and her inside. And she said, that's what I think, probably fell out of the car. So she's like doing stuff around her house while they're talking to her, walking around. She tries to wash towels and her sneakers right in front of the cops. There's a bunch of towels, and she takes her sneakers off and puts it all in the washer and starts trying to wash them. And the police go, no.
Hold, Hope.
You can't wash things around where a dead body was that died suspiciously, especially. Right. Not okay. So they said, you know what? You need to leave the house while we search the house and look around and look for a murder weapon and things like that.
Even if we're not suspecting you, you're going to fuck something up.
Yeah, you can contaminate the scene. So when they pull the things out of the washer, no water had been put in yet. She just threw them in there and they stopped them. The towels and the sneakers had blood stains on them.
Oh.
That's not good. She was also adamant that she had to, right now, before she left or did anything, feed her cats down in the basement.
Okay.
You got to feed them right now. You don't understand. They're like llamas. They'll get angry and stomp you to death. So she started cleaning out. They were like, I guess. So they walked down with her. She started cleaning out the cat litter bag, or the cat litter box, and was dumping it into an old dog food bag, that they were using as a garbage bag, in front of the detective. He stopped her and said, wait, just don't do anything. You know what? Don't do this. Feeding the cats is one thing. You're doing other shit. They get her out of there. They look in the dog food bag. In addition to cat shit and litter and clumps of cat piss, there's also blood and 3 bloody garbage bags in there as well.
Hope, what are you doing?
She's like, if I put poop on top of it, no one will want to look at it. It'll be gross.
Oh, boy.
So she leaves the house and goes with her friend, okay? Her friend picks her up, and, she's emotionally distraught, and her friend wants to help her. Her friend's Diana Witchland. She says that while driving Hope to a friend's house on this day, she said, why? What happened? Why, is what she said. I guess Hope's response was that, quote, I just snapped. Her friend's like, okay, you just snapped. What's going on? Then she said, I just snapped. Then Hope says, listen, I need you to get a bag of cat litter from the basement because it's full of blood. She said, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The cops are there. Just sneak it out. What? I'm Diana. I'm driving you somewhere. I'm not I'm not in the mafia. What are you talking about?
She used Tidy Step?
I guess so. Maybe to soak it up.
Yeah.
So her friend here asked her, well, why didn't you just leave and come to my house? You could have come to my house. Why'd you have to do this? And she said, I did leave, but you weren't home. So I went back and had to kill him.
I came over and you blew it. You could have saved his life.
Sorry. If I went to your house, you weren't there. I went to the pizza place. They hadn't opened yet, even though they said they were going to be open. And then I said, I have no choice. No friend, no pizza. Got to kill. That's all I can do. So she said she said, please, if you could do anything. Woman said, what can I do for you? Can I do anything to help you? And she said, take care of my dogs if they take me in. Okay. And she said, also, get this dog food bag in the cellar that's got kitty litter in it. Go ahead and put that in the trash, but not on my property. Take it to a business and throw it in their dumpster.
I got a feeling they have that, Hope.
Yeah, and she said there's blood in the bag there, too. And she said, I'm not doing anything like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think this woman wants to be a part of Hope incriminating herself to her. I feel like she's like, please stop telling me things. Right? Can you picture her in the car? Can you stop telling me things that can make me have to go to court?
Everything that you say from here on out keeps me on the stand longer. Stop. Just stop.
This is so bad. I'm going to have 2 idiots on a podcast in 20 years talking about me. I can't do it. They know my name, damn it. So then she comes out with, this is the quote from her friend Diana, quote, she said, I put sleeping pills in his coffee.
Wow.
And then she just kind of rambled on about playing tennis and that he hadn't died from the sleeping pills. Quote, he didn't die. And then she said there was so much blood. And then she said, quote, I used a bag. I think she did kitty litter and then put that bloody litter, because that'll soak up blood, I assume, decently, and then put that in a bag. Tried to soak the blood up with towels and shit, put it in a bag. There's bags involved here and a lot of blood. Okay. So this Diana said that she told Hope that she can't throw evidence away for her.
Right.
And she said, quote, I looked at her and she said, he didn't die. Then she said that she used a bag, but not for what? Then she just said there was so much blood.
Yeah.
So Diana said, I started to cry. And she said, I don't want to hear anymore. She told her, I don't want to hear anymore about this. And then Diana said that one of Diana's sons is a lawyer. So she said, you should talk to her. And Diana said, Hope said, quote, my life is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that wow. So Diana said, you're probably going to be going to prison, huh? I mean, right?
That's generally where people go that do this, yeah.
That's where they put you. And Hope said, that's okay because I've been living in a prison anyway.
Oh, God, Jesus.
So the daughter asked this is a different daughter. She said, how did Dad die? Adopted Dad, but still Dad since 1962. It's been 40 years. It's Dad.
Yeah, same guy.
How did Dad die? And she said about her mother, quote, she looked right through me and said, I can't tell you.
Oh, Jesus.
Uh-oh. Another one of her friends, Susanna Palmer, heard about obviously the death here, and she had volunteered at the library with Hope. She's a fellow volunteer librarian in a small town in Vermont. You can't get any more mild than this.
Very meek, yeah.
Wow. She said, quote, Hope said to me, I want to get rid of my husband. I mean, I just laughed and said, what do you mean? Are you going to poison him? Like it was a joke.
Yeah.
Whoa. And she just looked me right in the eye with these rather intense look and said, yes. No. I just want to get him into the VA in Bennington. So she said yes. And then was like, no. I just want to get him put in the VA hospital forever there.
That's how we're going to get rid of him.
Out to pasture. So she also told her that, she just wanted to get her husband's insurance money once he died. That would help out a lot once he does die, and that she wanted to get rid of him. And she also said that Hope told her that she went out at night all the time after her husband went to bed to visit a male neighbor who was nice to her.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going. Look good out there. And you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable. And you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah. They're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, it's great. Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, I'm trying to get my protein intake up. for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff. And I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool. And you can personalize this portion and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Calling all dog owners. Your furry friend deserves top-notch nourishment, and Ollie delivers the clean, fresh nutrition your dog needs in 5 flavors they'll absolutely flip over. Ollie is made in U.S. kitchens with ingredients carefully sourced from trusted growers and producers around the world, with absolutely no harmful fillers or preservatives. With protein-first recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes, fresh turkey with blueberries, or fresh lamb with cranberries, you might start thinking, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. Give your pup a fresh start this new year by letting them taste test a personalized meal plan with Ollie. Head to ollie.com/Wondery. Tell them all about your dog and use code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box of meals when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a clean bowl guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/Wondery and enter code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie.
Palmer said she was taken aback by this and said that she, quote, really didn't know Hope Schreiner at all.
No kidding.
I thought we were just rearranging the classics section. This is fucking insane. So she said that she went on to make other incriminating statements about also putting sleeping pills in her husband's coffee, maybe. Ha, ha, ha. She also made an admission about the sleeping pills to her son as well. Said, I put them in his coffee. Then a neighbor said that when she this is amazing. This neighbor talked to Hope a couple days later and said, I'm concerned, this poor guy was murdered. This poor World War II veteran was murdered in his driveway. There could be a murderer on the loose in this neighborhood. None of us are safe. Hope leaned in close to her and whispered, quote, don't worry, I did it. What the fuck is that?
Don't worry, you're safe.
It's me, so
I'm not
you're good.
Coming for you.
Clearly, you're not Mike Target, so don't worry about it.
I got the one I wanted. We're good.
And the neighbor was like, "Oh God, okay,
God.
Oh, good, I suppose." Like, good news, bad news. What are we talking about here?
Wow.
So she also told this person that she wanted to get her husband into the home in Bennington at another time and said that he wasn't sick enough to go there yet. Wow. Said that he was. She also told people at this point, now the cops talked to her and she starts telling the cops he's been verbally and mentally abusive and their last few years of their life together has been very difficult since he's been ill and that he took his anxiety over his medical problems out on her.
Ma'am, he's 84. It's almost done.
Yeah, 77, 78 at this point. Sorry, he died at 78. He died.
So she's 72.
She's 72. He's 78. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he had all sorts of stuff here. Difficulty walking. He had 8 prescriptions he took on a daily basis for all of these different ailments. His oldest son, Stephen, said that although he wasn't very close to his father, he doubted that his father was mentally abusive to Hope. Right. He said, quote, I never heard that from anybody. I would say she had much more power over him. She said that he said his stepmother was basically controlling at times and also controlled the timing of the circumstances of when he visited his father. So He said, many years ago, I wanted to visit my father, and she said no. It wasn't possible at that time. She set the schedule, no overnights. He wouldn't contradict her. He wasn't strong enough to go against her. Quote, he has to live with her, he has to live with her all the time, so he has to acquiesce to her wishes. He told me that some time ago. I guess he had told her that. Yeah, he said, quote, I wanted to get to know my father better, but she wasn't interested in that, and he just couldn't put his foot down. So he said he was conflicted about this, his stepmother maybe killing his father. He said, quote, I'm not angry at her. I still don't want to believe she did it, even though I didn't like her very much. Like, I don't like her, but I don't want to think that she did it. DNA evidence here. is interesting. DNA evidence presents that there are traces of his blood, Robert's blood, on the doorknob into the Shriner residence.
Okay.
So once he's been beaten about the skull, he's probably not walking around opening doors. So
somebody else put that there.
Yeah, and also in several garbage bags handled by her, she was trying to get rid of, on the storm door in the basement, near her vehicle as well. Not his,
She's
her
going
vehicle.
Everywhere.
There's blood all over the place. There was evidence here also that she, like we said, wanted to do laundry right away to wash these things that ended up having his blood on them. So the day after his funeral, detectives arrest her.
Yeah.
Okay, they arrest Hope, charge her with first-degree murder. She briefly fell down when they arrested her at her home.
Yeah.
They said medical assistance wasn't administered because she appeared to recover quickly. The cop here said she just fell forward but was never out. Okay. They also, when they got her down to the police station here, that she had some real bizarre behavior. She said that Hope said she felt responsible for not being able to save her husband's life. That's what she was saying. So her lawyer will later say, Hope was in shock. Of course she was. She was a bloody mess. Of course she felt responsible. So they said while she was in shock, she was asked if she had anything to do with it, and she said no. And that was that. She was shivering the whole time in there, like she was whatever. They asked Scott here, the son, do you have any comment about your mom's arrest for killing your dad?
Yeah.
And he said, I just buried my father. I'm still grieving. That's sad.
Yeah.
So, first of all, is she crazy?
No, I mean...
She have dementia or something, maybe?
Right,
She's in her 70s, it's possible.
Yeah.
Well, it was raised to police, and they said that her daughter-in-law and another daughter had called the police and saying they were worried for her mother's safety and that she wasn't acting like herself, so they should check her out. Yeah. The daughter told her people that her mother was delusional, and she believed that something terrible had happened the week earlier and that her mother was responsible. Okay. So, Hope's attorney attempts to have her put on Paxil, an antidepressant, and sent to the Brattleboro Retreat, a private psychiatric hospital for treatment and evaluation. But after an emergency evaluation by a clinical social worker from Healthcare and Rehabilitative Services of Southeastern Vermont, they said that there was no indication of mental illness or mental incompetency. The social worker said she was well aware of the roles of her lawyer, the judge, state's attorney, knew what was going on. She was free of hallucinations or delusions. She denied being suicidal. She was fine. The judge said he was on the verge of ordering her to a state hospital, but then they said, I guess she's fine. Never mind. Fuck it. Okay. Proceed. So the trial comes around. Her lawyer is going to say that he was dead before she ever got there. She couldn't have been there. She said she arrived between 1:30 and 2, and he was already dead. And they said that she was playing tennis from 8:30 that morning till 11:15 when she left the River Tennis and Fitness in South Londonderry to go to Manchester Centre to have a lamp repaired. She then drove to the Charter One Bank in Jamaica, where she received a time-dated receipt deposit stamped at 11:21. From 12:21, not 11:21, 12:21 p.m. From 12:28 to 12:38, she drove home, went into the house, walked the dogs. Then at 1:30, she noticed he was dead, she's saying. So they said that's when she calls 911. So they're like, she couldn't have done it because she was at the bank at 12:21. They're like, okay, well, that's fine, but where the fuck was she between 11:15 and 12:21?
Right.
So
well,
it doesn't take that long to kill an old man.
And the other part is he'd been dead for, they said, at least 2 hours at 1:30.
At 1:30, and they got there at like 1:45. So if they get there at 1:45, and
1:45 is when he has to be dead, and she was done with tennis at 11:15. So
she's done. Yeah, she was at a bank at 12:21. Right. But that's fine. She also they could be off on the time of death by an hour, and she got home and killed him, and then went inside and acting like nothing happened. Who knows? So that's what they're trying to say, though, is that the timeline doesn't work. And they also say our defense remains the same. She wasn't there when he died. They don't have a murder weapon still, and they don't. There's a big controversy about her daughter. The day before the funeral, her daughter took a 3-pronged rake from the house.
Why would she do that?
Exactly. And so they said that was a big deal, so they were suspicious about that could have been the murder weapon, but they don't know if it was or not, blah, blah, blah. They said they don't have a murder weapon, and they still don't have a really good motive. Well, they have plenty of motive.
That'd be the worst fucking way to go, I think. In your 80s, almost 80s, while somebody
pummeled by
stabs you and pummels you with a fucking yard instrument.
And he fought back too. They said his hands were like he tried to fight back, and he got hit on the hands with whatever he got attacked with. Yeah. They said that a fireplace poker was seized from the house, but that came up negative for everything except rust. And the attorney for the defense says they do not have a murder weapon, which just because you hid the murder weapon well doesn't mean that you get to not go for murder. That's the problem. And her problem is she told everyone she did it. That's her main issue. Her main issue.
Don't worry, I did it.
If she said right from the beginning, I didn't do it, I don't know what you're talking about, and then they don't have a murder weapon and the timelines are a little sketchy, they'd go, oh shit, that's a lot of reasonable doubt. But when you go around telling literally everyone you know that you did it and why you did it and that you're sad you did it, don't worry about it, I won't murder you, that's not good. So yeah, they do all of that. Her sons, the thing is here too, Robert's sons from his first marriage, and also one of Hope's daughters, Stephanie, they all believe Hope's guilty.
Yeah.
She broke with the ranks with the other ones and went over to the Schreiner side of here. 3 of the sons, though, attended the hearing, which is interesting because she has her own sons. 3 of those sons attended the hearing. One during a 2-hour recess in the hearing, the eldest, Gary, he's a lawyer from Long Island.
Oh, boy.
He yelled, "Hi, Mom, we love you. Hang in there. Hang in there, Ma. It's all right."
Yeah.
At the end of the court hearing, Gary and Scott, her youngest son, the one that they had together, were allowed to hug and kiss her mother before she was led away at the end of one of the days. So they get Donald Beret on the stand, and he is embarrassed as all get out, boy. Couldn't be more embarrassed about this.
Red-faced.
He never wanted anyone to know this was going on because he felt like it wasn't right. And now it's literally an inquisition where he's just sitting on the stand and he has to answer questions. And
he has to talk about his own elderly sex.
Christ, he's so embarrassed. This generation is like, oh, Jesus Christ, He told the court that, because they asked, do you have an alibi for that day? And he said, no, I don't, but I had nothing to do with it. I don't know, I had nothing to do with it. I broke it off with Hope. I didn't do it. He said that he agreed with the attorney of her attorney when it was called, this is friends with benefits, elderly style. Friends who occasionally had an intimate interaction is what you call elderly friends with benefits.
Daytime lovers, nighttime friends.
Yeah, that's the one. He said that neither he nor Hope believed their relationship would last. He said that he initially denied the relationship when the police asked him about it, but that was because he was embarrassed.
Yeah.
And he was just, that generation just doesn't talk about that sort of shit, the old people like that. So it's at this point that a letter comes into the district attorney's office. Here we go.
Yeah.
An unsolicited letter from a guy with one of the greatest awful names ever, Bob Hurlbutt.
Okay.
Which sounds like a Wayne's World insult.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's a diarrhea euphemism. I got Hurlbutt, man. It's just flying out of there. Hurlbutt. Bob Diarrhea Hurlbutt here. Yeah. He's an inmate at the state prison in Berlin, New Hampshire. And in this letter, he says that he, quote, has a hunch. Now, who's better to solve crimes than Bob Hurlbutt from the state prison in Berlin here? He said he has a hunch that a Vermont man, who may or may not be his cousin, possible, had something to do with this Schreiner murder, okay? Hurlbutt said that his second cousin may have been involved in this murder, and they said an investigator, so obviously Hope's team puts out an investigator to investigate Hurlbutt's claim.
Yeah.
And in an interview with Hurlbutt, his cousin said that he, quote, had to take care of some old dude in Townshend who owed him money for work on a car.
Huh.
He owed money, man. Hurlbutt also said his cousin admitted to committing several unspecified murders in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So his cousin's a serial killer. It's
a bad man.
It's a bad man. He told these investigators that his memory was jogged about his cousin murdering people when he watched the Schreiner trial on court TV that's been going on. They've been showing it live.
They've been showing it.
So he said he devoted a lot of Thursday's coverage to the story and all that kind of thing. And the man said that he didn't know. The man he said, who's his cousin who did this, said, I don't know this Hurlbutt guy, and he's sure as shit isn't my cousin. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Okay.
So they learned that the man with the same name as his cousin was living in Hartford, Vermont, and ran an auto salvage company. It's insane. And that the cousin was one of the suspects in an unsolved murder of a woman in 1987, they uncover. So, in addition, the Hope's son also tells defense counselor that Robert had purchased auto parts from a salvage yard and refused to pay for them because they didn't work.
Oh.
So over a couple of bad salvage parts, they're going to come murder an old man in his driveway, beat him to death.
Beat a guy with one lung to death?
Like a stretch. So they said that the court had an oral request for a continuance of the trial to try to find this man, but the court said there's no specific information. There's no actual accusations. Right. There's no specific anything in this. This is just a letter from a guy named Hurlbutt sitting in prison who's bored and has nothing else to do and watching fucking court TV all day. What are you talking about? Yeah. So they said, no, can't do that. So they have a motion for a new trial, as a matter of fact, just before closing arguments, saying if this Hurlbutt thing comes through, it's a game changer.
Obviously.
And they said, get the fuck out of here with that Hurlbutt
Don't worry,
shit.
It won't come through.
No. So in the defense's closing, they said that they ridicule the police investigation and the rush to judgment on Hope. They said, did that woman kill her husband? Did she? I don't see it. I just don't see it.
I can't
Look at her.
see it.
She baked cookies for all of us today. She said that she called the police investigation a witch hunt.
Okay.
Well, yeah, if witches murdered their husbands in the driveway
We're hunting
brutally,
them.
then
Yeah.
they're hunting them. She said, quote, they were not Romeo and Juliet. They'd been married 43 years. She didn't kill her husband. Let her go home and grieve. Let this family go home and grieve.
Okay.
She pointed out the police never found the murder weapon and said that Hope was doing errands. She's playing tennis. She's getting lamps fixed. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There we go. So they said the police also, what about she telling all of her friends she did it? The police twisted those comments. Oh. These people testified on the stand to say exactly what she said. She said the police twisted the comments. They made the comments themselves from their faces in front of these fucking jurors. So that's a dumb thing to say. Prosecution, they're closing. Seems like they don't have a murder weapon. That they said, though, there's blood stains matching his blood found in the basement of the home on towels and sneakers and garbage of shit she was trying to throw away, get people to throw away, and wash while the cops were there. They said that she asked her friend to get rid of the bag. She asked her friend Diana Wicklund to commit a crime and asked her to destroy the bag. Also, the high level of sleeping drug found in his blood, and Hope saying to her friends that she had tried to kill him by doing that. Quote, these actions are consistent with guilty knowledge. So, Hope does not testify in her own defense, which seems smart. During deliberations, she collapses again. Another one here.
Narcolepsy in this broad.
She has like a medical issue, but that turns out to never be anything. The jury, once they're deliberating for 8.5 hours, they request a replaying of the testimony of Dr. Stephen Shapiro, the medical examiner who did the autopsy. So they want to hear about the head injuries again. A few minutes into the tape, because this is played in the court, a few minutes into the tape, Hope collapses again and is helped out of the court when the judge declared a recess at the request of her attorneys. After a few minutes, they decided, it was like 8 o'clock at night, let's just pick this up in the morning.
Yeah.
So her collapse was another whole deal here, and it's happened a bunch. She was shaking uncontrollably and everything else, so she did a whole performance. The verdict comes in, 13 hours of deliberation, by the way. 9 men, 3 women on this jury, and the deliberation isn't necessarily over did she do it or not. It is because they can either find her guilty of first or second degree murder or not guilty of anything, obviously. So they come back with a verdict of guilty of second degree murder.
Oh, boy.
That's like, she's an old lady. She's not going to kill anybody else, somebody says. Who cares? Fuck it.
But she's also 72. She's never getting out.
Well, yeah, let's find out. The family, they said the family was very divided. On one side were two of Robert's sons and one of Hope's daughters. And on the other side were Hope's remaining three children. The two groups of siblings haven't talked to each other at all during the trial and wouldn't even look at each other. Okay. The lawyers try to get her bond, like bail, while she awaits sentencing. They pointed out that she appeared in court every time since her arrest. She checks in with the sheriff's deputies daily as part of her release during the trial. The prosecutor, though, told the judge that they received information that she had been planning to travel to Montana after the trial and asked for the $100,000 bail she posted to be revoked. Mm-hmm. They said that if she, going to go to the Montana, the defense attorney said only if she was acquitted she had those plans. Okay. They said her son lives there. That's why. So she was going to go visit her son and, all that kind of thing. Why not? And they said, what about her collapse? Was that all phony baloney horseshit? And her lawyer said, it was a long day. She has 30 years on me and I was pooped. She was wiped out. Pooped. Thank you for your legal expertise. Officially, legally pooped. So sentencing comes around and it's about, family, the relatives testify and about how it affects their lives. And family was divided, obviously, like we said. It's been kind of going back and forth here. They talk about, we knew they didn't have the happiest of marriages, but she could have just left him. Yeah. One kid described her as a dominating, unfaithful, and vengeful woman who kept her husband from having contact with his children from his first marriage. And he said, living in a bad marriage is a common thing, unfortunately, I think, in this world, but killing your spouse is not. That was Timothy Schreiner. And the older brother, Steve, he said, I have one request for the court.
Let's hear it.
When she dies, that she not be buried next to my father, please.
Oh.
He said his final resting place should not have to be beside his killer. That's fair, I think.
Not bad.
I think that's fair. And one of the daughter who's not on her side, Stephanie, she wrote a letter read in court by a victim's advocate, and she testified against her mother, and she said that she's been ostracized by other family members. She said, I am permanently traumatized. I have no more hope, no more family, no more strength. Yeah. Jesus Christ. So, only one of the daughters, out of everyone that came, only one of her daughters spoke in her defense, Deborah. She asked the judge to overturn the conviction and return hope to the grandchildren who need her. That's not how this works.
No, that judge can't do that.
She said she was wrongfully convicted on incomplete evidence and it was insufficient, and she suggested someone else was responsible and that her dad would not have wanted his wife to suffer like this.
Wow.
She said, no matter what I say here today, she's still going to spend the rest of her life behind bars. My mother also suffered through this. And the judge says, well, those who think Hope is innocent are, quote, in denial. This is the judge's sentencing here. He said the evidence included against her includes witness statements, DNA, blood found at the home. Quote, I understand why some of you may feel this way, but Mrs. Schreiner was convicted of murder because Mrs. Schreiner killed Mr. Schreiner.
Yes.
He described it as a savage and brutal killing that shocked the community. And he said, quote, if she is capable of this horrible act, then who among us is also capable? It is hard to think about, but it's important for us to think about. You, Granny Schreiner, may fuck off 17 years to life.
Okay.
And she will become the oldest female inmate in the state of Vermont at that very moment and the second oldest inmate total there. Her earliest parole date's 2023 when she'll be 90.
Yeah. Oh, she's got to do all 17.
She said that, thank you for support. No, that's less than. That might be, actually. You might be right. She said, thank you for supporting me through this, to her family. I hope you keep your support and love for the rest of this journey. The son said, quote, the 17 years will probably be the rest of her life anyways. Justice is served. And he walked away. I guess fuck it. The DA said there's no pleasure in taken from imposing this kind of sentence today. There's a lot of victims here today. She did a bunch of appeals based on fucking hurlbutt, based on just different things. By the way, the rake that was taken when they actually found the rake that the daughter took, it was too weak to have beaten a man to death. It would have broke before it broke a skull. You know what I mean? It was one of those. So they said that wasn't it. They said all of her appeals lacked any kind of merit. She's just pretty much fucked, essentially, here. She told so many people she did it. It didn't quite work out. There's also a fight over the will.
Of course.
And they said a 1/2 interest in each of the 3 properties formerly owned by Hope Schreiner and Robert Schreiner as tenants by the entirety and described herein, blah, 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 blah. Where is it here? I guess it shall be held in a constructive trust is what it is. And they said that if Hope Schreiner's conviction is upheld after all the appellate things are exhausted, 1/2 interest so decreed shall vest in the estate of him, and that'll go to the kids. So she's not going to get anything, basically.
No, we're going to whittle it down to 1/9.
If
give a 1/9 to everybody, that's going to be nothing.
Unless it gets overturned.
Right.
Now, in 2014, she's 81 years old, and she's granted a medical furlough and moved to a nursing home in Vermont. State officials said it was due to a terminal or debilitating illness, but couldn't have been that terminal because apparently, from what I found, she's still fucking alive, from what I can find. From what I can understand here, she is alive. I think I found her on Long Island also, where one of her sons lives.
At 90.
That son's a lawyer, so he probably has enough money to keep his mom in the house or nearby. So
took care of her.
I think she's still alive at 90. Also, I found a Hope Schreiner with a Vermont LinkedIn that said retired at Nunn Arts and Crafts, myself only. So it seems like she doesn't know how to fill in the LinkedIn, which is an old person. I think that's her. Yeah. And this was done on a few TV shows here or there. Nobody did it really in depth. They did like a third of a 40-minute show on it. They did Suburban Secrets in 2007, I believe, did a thing on it. And I think maybe Snapped might have done like a short segment on it.
She did say she snapped.
She snapped. It was right there. That said, there it is, everybody. Wow. That's Vermont. Fucking crazy time in Vermont. I'll tell you what. Llamas and old lady fucking and all sorts of shit.
Gives me hope, James, that I'm going to still be fucking in my 70s. That's great.
All right. No shit. Hey, maybe. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll be the fucker and not the guy in the house on Ambien. So anyway, that said, definitely leave a review after listening on. It helps a lot. 5 stars does that. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com is where you get everything. Tickets August 12th, Chicago. Biggest show ever. Chicago live show only. Only other tickets available. Dallas, Atlanta, Charlotte. A couple in Philly. Do that. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. All your bonus material. $5 or above. Get you the whole back catalog and new ones every other week. One Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder. This week is no different. What you're going to get this week, we are going to talk about the 1919 Black Sox scandal, gangster shit, World Series, John Cusack movies. It's all there. And then for Small Town Murder, weird Titanic stories. A lady threw her baby in a fucking garbage can, got on a lifeboat. That's weird. All sorts of weird shit. Other mysteries of the sea. We'll talk about that. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. And you get a shout out at the end of the regular show. Follow on social media at Small Town Murder on Instagram. You'll find the rest of the shit from there. Also, links, they go down. Find us. We're on social media. That said, thank you so much, everybody. Until next week, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
It takes one guy out there to say, who's that Kyle who thinks he can just get on a microphone on a podcast and start publicizing this?
From iHeart Podcasts and Tenderfoot TV comes a new true crime podcast, Crook County.
I got recruited into the mob when I was 17 years old.
Meet Kenny, an enforcer for the legendary Chicago outfit.
And that was my mission, to snuff the life out of this guy.
He lived a secret double life as a firefighter-paramedic for the Chicago Fire Department.
I had a wife and I had 2 children. Nobody knew anything.
People are dying. Is he doing this every night?
Torn between 2 worlds.
I'm covering up murders that these cops are doing.
He was a freaking crazy man.
We don't know who he is, really.
He is my father, and I had no idea about any of this until now. Welcome to Crook County. Available now. Listen for free on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.